Hi, good evening, everyone. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I'm Jane, the Candid Filipina. It's a lovely evening from the Nipahat on the beach to discuss tonight's topic. It's about expectations from some Filipinas regarding support monthly. Are they being realistic or just plain greedy? To understand this more in depth, we need to first discover what are the top 10 highest salary here in the Philippines currently, as well as the top 10 lowest salaries here in the Philippines currently. So let's start with the top 10 highest salaries. As you can see, displayed on the screen on my left. Most of these jobs have been secured by hard work, hard study, university, as well as tremendous support from their parents. In general, these people are achievers and have learned how to save and how to invest. It is therefore unlikely, but not impossible, to date one of these upper class girls as they tend to stick to their own age groups and their own peers. And that's not a guess. That's actual a fact. As in reality, they don't need support from a foreigner as they can support themselves comfortably. Again, a fact. The girls you are going to associate with in general will be from the top lowest paid in the Philippines. Again, not a guess, it's a fact. So on my right hand side, you will find a list of the top 10 lowest paid jobs. In addition to this, many Filipinas do not work at all, as they may be helping the parents on the farm or be looking after family members that are not well, or instead, they may fall into a single mama category. Some mamas work, some mamas don't. Just over 70% of people working in the Philippines will fall into the lower top 10 pay scales. So, as you can imagine, parents with 6 children, that the average, a total of 8 in the family, would have to survive on one of the top 10 lowest salaries, which is a struggle to them, especially if they're sending 2 or 3 of their children to college, which costs an average of 3 to 4,000 pesos per month. Now, as you can see, the struggle becomes real. Unlike the West, many of these children will not leave home until they at least 28 to 32 years of age due to financial constraints, which puts more pressure on the breadwinner of the family. Home is generally the father. This in itself creates the need for external support, which normally comes in the way of their children once working, giving a slice of their salary to their parents. Hence, this is where the foreigner becomes very popular. I'm not saying this is all about money. It is in general about love as well as being supportive, as would be the same case with a Western relationship generally. The advantage a foreigner has to offer is maturity, intelligence, patience, understanding, whilst being supportive and more tolerant of the culture here. Filipinas in general love the idea of having mixed race child, which is generally very beautiful, and it's easier for them to become an achiever in life, coupled with a fact that foreigners seem to not age as quickly as Filipinos, which in turn makes age less important. Also, in essence, foreigners are far more attractive. And of course, in reality, a foreigner is more capable of being able to support the girl that he marries here. It is sometimes the expectations of the parents that their daughter will meet a foreigner in order to pull themselves or her daughter out of poverty, which is understandable, really. So we are not saying it's all about money. It is about attraction also. In general, if Filipina marries a Filipino, it will be from the same status. It is rarely seen that a poor Filipina will marry into a rich Filipino family. It's generally not accepted. And this is one of the reasons that the foreigner is far more viable option, which is the main goal of most Filipinas as love and stability is what is paramount. However, what this topic is about is that in general, when I interviewed Filipinas, their expectations that they disclose in the interview is that the foreigner will bring to the table over 100,000 pesos per month, which is well beyond what they are accustomed to. Maybe it's just a dream of their or an exaggeration of their expectations. As a Filipina, what do I think should be the amount if you are going to support the Filipina and what is reasonable and realistic by renting a nice house or even buying a house? That should be adequate enough for your Filipina as you will obviously be the one that will pay the bills, the electric, the food, the internet, mails out, and occasional holidays. That should be sufficient. That in itself will be a vast upgrade from what she is accustomed to. She will either work herself or become a housewife to you and take care of you as a wife. By providing the above, you are already lifting her out of the poverty that she leaves behind. However, some foreigners insist on giving the Filipina an allowance. That is entirely their choice. However, I will add never give more than 3,000 pesos a month to your wife or girlfriend, as trust me, eventually this will lead to problems. I can assure you from what I have seen in other relationships. That's my advice. Whether you take it or not, it's entirely up to you. I'm just talking from experience. My suggestion also is to live at least 10 kilometers away from the parents so that they don't haunt you every day continually. It is also, in my opinion, not a good idea to buy them a house and lot, as this could later on become the start of constant demands for handouts. Again, that's my opinion. It's entirely up to you, of course. When you see poverty, you feel pity. It's understandable, but sometimes it's best to be strong. Yes, support your Filipina, support children you make between you both. Why should you buy the parents a house as you have saved and worked hard for your money? They have also had the same opportunity to work, so that's not your remit. I'm not condemning it. I'm just advising that from what I've seen, it leads down to the road to disaster. Anyway, I hope you find this video gives you a little bit of insight. I know you probably looked at many other channels, but in general, it's from the male's perspective. I'm giving it to you realistically, truthfully, and honestly from a Filipina's perspective. I hope you enjoy the chat. Take care until the next time. Bye for now. Jing, the Candid Filipina.